right-hand side, I have Jerome. Jerome is from California, and he is a super awesome guy, and he's from CIG, am I correct?
Clan Infinity.
Kind of. Just west of him is Boss Lady, and Boss Lady is also from California.
No. I'm from Florida.
She's from Florida. How are you doing?
Good.
And supposed to be on the left of me is Tam, but she's having a few technical difficulties. So she's being our moderator for tonight, and she's going to keep an eye on you all. And I am not DJ Wheat, I'm not Day 9, and I'm not JP McDaniel. I am the Warden, and we are the debut team for the SlagPits.
Yeah.
Right. So, shall we do a quick run over of what we're going to do today? We are going to start with the news, then we'll be discussing StarCraft 2 coaching. Is it worth it? After that, our debate for this week is which is better, Dota, Hon or LOL? I'm hoping the chat's going to like this one. Then we'll finish off with Troll of the Week and StarCraft scenes we'd like to see, and then some lovely shout-outs. So, let's go, but there is one more thing to cover first, and that is the slam hams. The slam hams are basically this. Now, this is your silence hammer. Now, if we are in a topic, it's getting a bit heated, someone's talking too much, getting a bit boring, then we can instigate the slam ham. All the chat has to do is shout slam ham, and hopefully my guests have drawn themselves a slam ham. Do you have your slam hams, or are you going to use your fist?
I'll use a fist.
Yeah, I'll use a fist.
I woke up a little too late.
Yeah, however, though, no trolling, no slam ham after everybody says 5 words.
No,
that's not fair.
10 for it to be instigated. And then the person who's talking gets muted for 5 minutes. Although I may increase or decrease that, but depends how trolly I'm feeling. So, shall we get into the news? Let's go. Slayers have a new team member. Slayers Eve. How much do we know about this girl, guys? Because from what I can tell, we don't know a hell of a lot.
The only thing that I kind of saw was that it looks like she's in Diamond. And she won the first place in the amateur tourney, which is, I guess, where they found her, but that's pretty much it. They don't really say much about her anywhere else.
No, it is...
From what I've read...
Yeah, so go ahead.
From what I've read, she's one of MMA's practice partners, so she has some sort of a hookup with Slayers from the get-go.
Okay, that's...
Not entirely sure, though. Yeah.
Yes, that's interesting. But basically, nobody seems to know all that much about her, basically. I think it's mainly big news, because it's a change from usual... team hires for obvious reasons, but I think this is a good thing for StarCraft 2. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we need some more girls.
Basically,
definitely. Yeah, too much sausage party going on.
Yeah, it's kind of neat that she would choose the name Eve to start off with, because, biblically, that's like the first woman, that she's the first Korean pro gamer that's a woman, so it kind of works out.
Exactly. Okay. Second piece of news for StarCraft 2 is basically a roundup of the IGN IPL Season 2, which started on Thursday night. Before we get into it, is anyone actually seeing the portraits for the players before they go into the game? Because how creepy are those eyes?
I saw it on the site when I was looking at it. They're just really weird. Yeah.
It's just so bizarre.
They're trying a little too hard, I think. It's just
I liked the style of it last season. It was like, I don't know, it's just cool, and now it looks creepy. I'm sure we'll get used to it, but going into the big one for the first night was Hydra versus Truby. And I basically, one of the casters described Hydra as a mosquito. Now, I don't think that's too much of a bad analogy, if you ask me.
The angry one.
He basically rage quit his first match because his meter's got unmagic boxed and squashed light bulbs, basically. But he managed to take it 2-1 in the end, so all came well with the previous winner. But last night was Forzane and Axlav, which Forzane took 2-1. And something I've forgotten to mention is if you want to go and watch these matches on your own, cover your ears, although it's a bit late now. The last one was Destiny versus Soke, and Soke took that 2-1, which I was a bit surprised by. Did any of you see?
Yeah, that was a close match, though. That was a very close match. Yeah, with the match, definitely is something that I think he had the advantage over.
I didn't actually watch him.
I watched a little bit of that one, so I at least got that part out of it. But definitely, I think they're still going. So.
Right. Piece of esports news. SK Gaming they announced a while back they were going to get 2 Korean players onto the team, and what it turns out is they've got MC and Nada. And not only that, they've also teamed up with OGS for a partnership. And it basically means that you're going to see MC and Nada at a lot more foreign tournaments, which is obviously a good thing. But basically, SK and OGS basically now have a little relationship going on, so isn't that cute?
Yeah, the first time you'll see them is in August in Finland. I can't say the first word because I just can't. But Helsinki or something like that, Finland, August 4th. There you go. That's word.
Last piece of esports news, basically there's been a statement on some StarCraft 2 bans that have been going on for using a third-party piece of software called Raid Cell. And apparently this has now all been cleared up and all is well with the world again. Now, personally, this hasn't affected me, but it seemed like an interesting piece of news that may affect one of our viewers, so it seemed important. So if I ever use Raid Cell, at least I know I won't get banned now. So
what's it used for?
It's kind of like a Ventrilo from what I was reading up on it, because I don't use it either. But it's kind of like a Ventrilo, like you can talk online and that kind of thing.
Jeez, there's so many now.
Yeah, that's why I don't.
There's TeamSpeak, there's Mumble, 2 of which are free, and now there's Raid.
You can do Skype even.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Let's make some more. Let's make some more. we need at least 10, right?
Right, tech news. Hopefully everybody's heard of Google+, Google's new social networking site, and it is growing fast, kind of. Basically last weekend it had over 10 million subscribers. Compare that to Facebook, they have over 750 million. So, still a bit of a way to go, just a bit. But basically, if you're not on Google+ and you want to be, just send your address to SlagPits@gmail.com and I'll invite you, because you need to be on Google+. It is a given. I'm going to post some pictures that explains Google+ and Facebook. It's a funny little link, and I'll post that for you. Right, so, but I think Google+ is alright. Have you used Google+, Jerome?
I haven't used it myself yet. I do have it. I just haven't put all the information and everything, but I like the idea. I mean, there's some things I don't like about Facebook, and I don't use it too much. I have one, so maybe I'll use Google+ more. Hard to say.
And I know that you like it, Boss Lady, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah. The only thing, the biggest difference that I like the most is obviously like the Hangout, and the circles is the best thing. Because then like that, I don't need to tell the whole world about everything. If I just want to tell the girls something or just my family something, it's so much easier than Facebook. But Facebook is more convenient, so that's kind of the hard part of trying to get everybody on it, because everybody's already on it.
Exactly. Second piece of news, Apple have basically applied for a patent, which I find quite interesting. Basically, they've a way of sending information to each other. Imagine this is your iPhone, because I actually don't know where mine is. And here's someone else's iPhone. You've got information you want to send to one. Instead of sending it the old-fashioned way, you basically get your phone and go like, and swipe your finger over the screen, do some kind of gesture as though you're throwing it to them, and the other person will catch it. I'll put the link in the chat for you, but basically it's like phone sex. It's the way I see it. But I thought that's very interesting. And apparently you can be connected to like 3 phones and send a secret message to one person and not the other if you don't like them. So
I just think it's so dumb. I don't know. Like, I think it's so unnecessary. Like, what's the point? Like, I was reading on one that you can literally pour your information into the other. Why?
It's so gimmicky, doesn't it? It's,
yes.
It's Apple. I'm sure all will be forgiven eventually.
Well,
no one's going to use it. They'll use it for like a week and that's it.
Well, Apple brought this sort of thing up with, I guess, basically the ITC, or what's what that stands for, but they kind of regulate trade in the States, and they're kind of trying to sue, I think it was HTC. It's the Android phone maker, like, I don't know, for like violating 10 patents. And that was one of 2 that the ITC actually found that could possibly be violated. But the thing is about Apple is they only need to land 1 before they might get an embargo on, HTC phones to the United States altogether. So it's kind of serious business. Yeah.
I know. Right. The last thing I've got is a bit of a funny one. It's basically a Razer bungee. Now, when I first heard the name, I thought, right, is this a way for me to dispose of my old mice and just go wing over to the other side of the room? But apparently it's called a cable tidy for, they said, basically extreme gamers to keep the cable out of the way. But I imagine if you get a piece of elastic and your old mouse, tie it to the end, and if you don't like someone, just fling it at them. It is basically like a little bungee or a catapult. It's very bizarre. But yeah,
it looks kind of interesting though. I mean, at least if you're the type of person where your mouse always gets stuck and you always have to constantly move it over, then yeah, that's kind of good for you because then you can just put it on there and it'll never happen again. But I don't know. I don't see myself paying $20 for it.
It's kind of geared towards those people who don't have a lot of real estate on their desk, and so their mouse will snag on anything. But it was also like something that was made 15 years ago, back in the day, where it was trackball mouse. God forbid we ever go back to those. But I mean, the cords were always rubber or plastic, and so they always snag on something. It didn't matter what. Or they were too short, and they would just pull your mouse over to the edge of the desk or whatever. And so that's how they kind of fixed it. And I guess out of nostalgia, they decided to bring it back, even though today's mice aren't nearly as bad. We have braided cords and stuff on these things now. I mean, I guess for some people, maybe Razer fanboys, it'd be something nice. But yeah, I agree. $20 is kind of a hefty price to pay for something like that.
I agree on the Razer fanboys or gamers bit, because I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll have a use for it one day, but well, we'll see. Well, I suppose that rounds up the news. That means we can get on to the juicy stuff. We're starting off with a topic that was inspired by Jerome, funnily enough, because he gave me some free little pieces of coaching the other day for about an hour. He gave me some little tips and tricks since I've just switched to Terran. I've basically just switched to Terran. Yes, and well, he was nice enough to give me some free coaching. I was expecting at the end of it to say, right, give me $50. And he just gave me some solid advice for free. And that got me thinking on StarCraft 2 coaching. I've heard some people say it's not worth it. Some people say it is. And some people say that Aja charges $150 per hour.
300 smackers.
Yep.
The dude does not want to coach. It's freaking obvious. He's like, if you're going to take my time, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, not too many, not enough. All questions we're going to explore. Now, personally, the little hour with Jerome was